Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Well, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
Been pretty good all day from this distance. Just trying to take care of business. And in for birdie. Now at the par 3 13th, and Frank, in some ways, this is vintage Pete Dye, isn't it?
It is. His use of wooden bulkheads, plus the fact that he gives you that diminishing line. The further you go back into this green, you realize it's a larger carry. It just sort of reeks of something that's hit to the front mid-right of this green.
This one doesn't look good.
There's water over there.
Wow, lucky break right there, Frank.
Well, that's what everyone else is going to say, except him.
Simple, solid, and he'll take it.
But one that you need to make.
Frank, what's the best way to make three here at this 389-yard par 4 14th?
I'm not sure, really. I know there's two definitive options, hitting it down the left or carrying over the bunker. And I think that's another example of Pete Dye. There's one of those holes you never really know if you've made the right play until you finish the hole.
Pretty good drive here.
Another straight one.
Wow, that is a monster drive down there, about 315 yards. Frank, what's the key here? Second shot at 14.
Green sits up a little bit, well protected by those bunkers there. A nice high, soft landing shot.
Can't hide the flagstick from that man. This hole's been good to him. Birdie yesterday. He's trying for another one today. Good putt. Well, Frank, we are turning home. It says so on the scorecard here at 15.
It is, and once again, another example of great bunkering by Pete Dye. Bunkers on a lot of golf courses are just simply left and right, but what Pete Dye does, he lets them cut in, especially that one down the left side of the fairway. It cuts in, so it has to be avoided, and it's going to be about 280 yards to take it completely out of play. That's probably the best line, is to get it just past that last bunker on the left side. Rich, that tee shot there has shortened up this hole considerably. It's made a tough par 4 into, well, we'll see, but it looks like a very birdieable hole now.
You hit it right where you want. Now he has a good chance to attack that whole location. Good swing, good shot yet again. Terrific golf shot. And now that for an easy birdie. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Just a little too much juice on that birdie putt, Frank.
It was bold, very bold.
Has this to save par. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Here we go now, the final par 5 of the day, Frank.
Yeah, decision on how much you bite off here. If you play the ball to the right, then it's going to play its full 600 yards. But if you can take it in a direct line at that green, you're going to chew off a little bit of yardage. But you have to be able to carry that bunker.
And through the years, a lot of excitement here at this par 5 16th. That's a good start to the hole, right down the middle. Now the second shot to the par 5. Frank, you've been around this game for a pretty long time. Are players, in fact, more athletic today than they were, say, 20, 25 years ago?
There's no question, Rich, they are. That we've borrowed from other sports. If you can't make the player better, you can make them more athletic. And in the end, you're still making the golfer better. It's that sneaky distance.
He got robbed, Frank.
No, it's like kissing your mother-in-law.
Birdie try again here today. Had a nice birdie on this hole yesterday. Everybody loves him. Birdie on the card. Well, we've arrived at Alcatraz, the signature hole here at PGA West. Beautiful shot. That is tight.
Unbelievable. That is one to savor for the rest of the round.
The birdie. He's made it. Well, let's see, Frank. The par 3 17th, just 168 yards. You can't miss it right. Can't miss it left. Can't miss it short. You can't miss it long. Good luck. Nice drive, right in the fairway, and a good swing on that one. Frank, this approach shot seems pretty straightforward. Just don't hit it left.
Yeah, it's a tough second shot. It's that visual. Once again, you've got that green that's angled to the left. But once again, like a few holes out here, you do not have to hit directly at this flag. You are allowed to move that flag mentally 15, even 20 feet to the right. There's nothing wrong with that.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on that. Easy birdie.
And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
Frank, that front page of the leaderboard has been looking good all week.
You're exactly right, Rich. I think our winner is certainly going to come from that list right now. I'm excited for tomorrow's final round.
EA Sports is proud to present today's PGA Tour coverage. Today it's live final round coverage of the Career Builder Challenge. And now we go down to the first hole. Frank, this is where you find out if you are a gamer with a capital G. First tee, final round, you're in the lead. Can you hold it?
And this is also where you find out if your best stuff is good enough.
Excellent opening tee shot right in the fairway. Frank, what's the player facing now with this approach shot here at the first?
Well, Rich, that tee shot looked like a draw off the tee. The second shot, because of that bunker just short right of that green, suits the cut coming in here.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. That is classy.
Well, a chance of going in. Chance for back-to-back. Great start.
Frank, the second hole is only 371 yards. What's the challenge here?
The bunkering. This is really well bunkered. You'd expect that for a hole this short. If it's well bunkered, it means that it's vital to get it on the fairway.
That appeared to be a good strike right there, Frank.
Oh, good. It's just towering. Look at that hanging in the sky.
And that's going to stay on the fairway here at the second hole. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
So on the putting surface, and taking a good look now at this birdie putt here at the second. Birdie here yesterday, trying to do it again today. Oh yeah, he's made it for a birdie. Moving to the third hole, to par 4 again. This one 471 yards. That is tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from there.
Try up next. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Frank, this is the kind of start every player wants.
Yeah, swinging it well. Certainly hit the ball in the right place there. And, yep, good thing, too. He's actually putting well.
First par 3 of the day. It is the fourth here at PGA West, sitting at just under 200 yards in the card. This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's a formality now. Virtually no error in that putting stroke. Good putt.
Frank, what'd you say at the top? Die on the left, die on the right. Is this what you were talking about?
Exactly, yeah. The fifth hole here, it's called double trouble. So yeah, there's chances for grief on both sides of this fairway. But if you're long enough, if you can just sneak it past 335, that's where the water runs out. This is reachable.
So if you do sneak it out there, and that would be the longer hitters, you might have what into this green?
Well, you can get home hybrid, maybe even something shorter. But remember, it's called double trouble. Avoid that. Maybe double eagle.
Look out, this could be wet, Frank.
It's heading towards the hazard.
Wow, lucky break right there, Frank.
That's what everyone else is going to say, except him.
Just a couple of feet. Well, he's done it. That's an eagle right there. Tremendous effort. Well, the architect Pete Dye is known for visual intimidation. We see it at TPC Sawgrass at the Players every year. And you see it right here, Frank, at this 255-yard par 3/6 with water everywhere you look.
Yeah, you could make an argument here that it suits a little bit of a cut, like a Lee Trevino-style fade that starts at the left and moves its way to the green, but then that's also moving back towards the water. Conversely, if you try and fly it over that water on the right side with a little bit of a draw, then the green starts to run out on the left side. Have I made it sound hard?
Not a gimme, but well within his range. Frank, this is a player in full flight right now.
It looks too easy right now.
Frank, the 7th is a short par 4, 346 yards, so I'm guessing it's a layup off the tee, but it might be a nervy layup because you have water on the right, and if you miss left, that's no bargain.
It's very distracting looking down the right side, though. I think that's the easiest way to put it. But if you can break this hole down, 346 yards, if you take 120 yards off that, which is like a wedge, then the layup only becomes like 220 yards. That seems a little less intimidating.
Frank, this is a position where the player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Good swing, good shot yet again.
That's an outstanding shot right there, and it sets up a really good look at birdie.
Par yesterday, now for birdie. So close. He'd settle for par here. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business.
A good solid stroke there, no sign of nerves on that.
Now we're at the 8th hole here at PGA West in La Quinta, California. 559-yard par 5. Frank, what are the options here?
A good tee shot, you can certainly reach this par 5 and 2. There's a crosswalk that comes across in that vicinity of 330 yards. That's sort of the green light area if you can get it down there. Anything short of that, it becomes very much a three-shotter. But if you can get it close to that crosswalk that goes there, then certainly this becomes opportunity knocks.
Frank, that is how it's done.
Yeah, take a gross of those. That is a lesson in itself.
And now a chance for eagle. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Frank, the 9th hole at 452 yards. That water down the right is really a test of a player's driving ability, isn't it?
It is, and his ability to sort of take the shot on. Ideally, just something with a little bit of a fade, unless you can carry the ball 300 yards. Then you can get it just past that bunker. But when you look at this hole, notice how that fairway just starts to open up. So Pete Dye will reward an aggressive tee shot, but also he'll punish it if it's wayward.
Can't hide the flagstick from that man. And this will be a 5-foot putt here. Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie. And what a day it's been. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side. But, Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back. Now, this is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. We moved that one out there, but he is not going to like the lie.
That moved down in the rough. There's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
What a shot. Perfectly placed right next to the hole. So just a formality. And that's a birdie. Well, we've arrived at our third par 5 of the day here at PGA West. It is the 11th. It is nicknamed, appropriately, Eternity. 617 yards. Beautiful looking shot right here. Great strike and a great result. Setting up, good chance to attack the flag.
Second shot.
Had a birdie here yesterday in their close. Great opportunity for another one. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read.
That was a tricky one, but it's in.
Now the par 4 12th, only 363 yards, but Frank, it is intricate. There's a lot involved, isn't there, in playing a hole like this?
Yeah, I think this is where you have to work out, which clubs do you hit the best? Are you better with a 9-iron? Are you better with the wedge? Because that's the distance you want to hit it to. That's how you can be aggressive, even when you're laying up.
Frank, what's the right play here? Second to the short 12th.
Short flags, obviously got to keep it on that front section. When you've got a back flag, you've got to get it over that little faint ridge that's in the middle of the screen. Got to go past that.
Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Well, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
Well done. Now teeing off here at the par 3 13th. Now at the par 3 13th, and Frank, in some ways, this is vintage Pete Dye, isn't it?
It is. His use of wooden bulkheads, plus the fact that he gives you that diminishing line. The further you go back into this green, you realize it's a larger carry. It just sort of reeks of something that's hit to the front mid-right of this green.
Good looking shot right here. That is a beauty, a real beauty. This for another birdie on this hole on the week.
Great too.
Beautiful. Frank, what's the best way to make 3 here at this 389-yard par 4 14th?
I'm not sure, really. I know there's 2 definitive options, hitting it down the left or carrying over the bunker. And I think that's another example of Pete Dye. There's one of those holes you never really know if you've made the right play until you finish the hole.
That's a good spot right there.
center cut.
That is tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from there.
Superb shot.
It's as good as it's going to get. There's going to be no worries about making that one. Really solid stroke.
Well, Frank, we are turning home. It says so on the scorecard here at 15.
It is, and once again, another example of great bunkering by Pete Dye. Bunkers on a lot of golf courses are just simply left and right, but what Pete Dye does, he lets them cut in, especially that one down the left side of the fairway it cuts in, so it has to be avoided, and it's going to be about 280 yards to take it completely out of play. That's probably the best line, is to get it just past that last bunker on the left side.
Second shot. Good look at the green. Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on there. Easy birdie.
Locked in on the read and the speed. He's made it. Par 5 16th is a slight dog-leg left at 600 yards.
Great Bobby Jones used to say the hardest shot in golf's the next one. Judging by that light, it's not going to be too hard.
Well, you can hear it right off the center of the club face. This has a chance to be close. That was a big, bold strike, and now a chance for a big, bold move. Putt for eagle coming up. Count it. It's an eagle. Well, let's see, Frank. The par 3 17th, just 168 yards. You can't miss it right. Can't miss it left. Can't miss it short. You can't miss it long. Good luck. Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. Beautiful shot. That is tight.
Unbelievable. That is one to savor for the rest of the round.
Well, here we are at 18. It's a par 4, only 439 yards, but again, we've said it all day long. Water to deal with.
It's a great driving hole here, Rich. You don't necessarily have to hit driver. There's three groups of bunkers that are really in play off the tee shot. It's the one in the middle. It's around 290 yards. That's the one you really have to focus on. For stronger players, there's nothing wrong with hitting 3-wood off the tee there. You're still only going to have a shot of 150, 160 yards. Whichever way you look at it, it's something that you think you can find the fairway with.
Just an excellent shot right there. About 5 feet away. Good chance.
So it's come down to this, Frank.
One putt away. A chance to do what everybody has been trying to do.
Man,
Just pushed it.
boy, that hurts. Not a problem from there, right in the middle.
Rich, it came down to just a shot or two here or there, but we were treated some amazing golf this week.
Just one player standing, and that was earned, well-deserved, beautifully played. Coverage coming your way is presented by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. And hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. We are at Oakmont Country Club in western Pennsylvania. Frank, the site of so many historic moments. Great players have made their mark here. Sam Snead, Ben Hogan, Jack Nicklaus, Ernie Els, a long and distinguished list.
Oakmont, if it's not the most difficult golf course in North America, Rich, it's certainly one of the most difficult golf courses. With its 210 bunkers, really personified by the church pews, the hard and slick greens that slope away from the player and the tight fairways, this golf course always requires the utmost precision.
482-yard par 4 to start this round. Frank, break it down for us.
Well, the trees have long gone that sort of used to separate the first from the ninth fairway, which is just adjacent to that on the left side. But the bunkers down the left and the ones on the right, they still remain very much in play. And that's the biggest problem for the opening tee shot.
Excellent opening tee shot. That ball's right in the fairway. Frank, downhill shot here. Will he have to take it just a little bit easier?
Yeah, be careful with the ball position as well. If you play the ball too far forward and try and scoop it, it's not going to work.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
Putting all of his talents on display here from the rough, and he knocks it really close. Beautiful shot. Frank, not exactly the kind of putt you want to start off the round.
Yeah, it looks like first hole nerves. Just needs to shake it off, take the bogey, and he's going to have to start again on the next.
This is EA Sports PGA Tour coverage coming up next. Hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside my friend and colleague Frank Novola. We are back in the state of Pennsylvania getting set to kick off the round here at one of the great golf courses in the world, Oakmont Country Club. Frank, you're very familiar with it because you were right in the mix down the stretch at the 1994 U.S. Open right here at Oakmont.
And Rich, it's so good just to be back here. You know, there's so much history in Oakmont. It's been a host to so many prestigious tournaments in our sport, such as the U.S. Amateur, the U.S. Open, the Women's U.S. Open, and the PGA Championship. It's just one of the true gems on the golf landscape.
Terrific golf shot. And now that for an easy birdie. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. -1 in the early going. Relatively short par 4, second hole. Frank, what's the right play off the tee here? It's probably not driver.
It certainly isn't. You need a decent yardage in for your second shot, so you don't really want to hit it past those last of the 6 bunkers on that right side. It leaves a shot of 100, 110 yards. There's another tee box a little further up where they can make it like drivable at 265 yards, but for such a short hole, this is sort of a fearsome one. You always feel like you're making a mistake when you're putting the ball on the tee.
The stadium course, TPC Scottsdale in Arizona. It's a masterful blend of challenge and playability designed by the team of Tom Weisskopf and Jay Morrish. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Novelo for EA Sports.
The changes, Rich, they made in 2014 have just added a luster to this great venue that hosts the Pga Tour event each and every year. And it's a great test for any level of play.
Frank, that's as good as I have seen all day long.
I think we've got to blame that on the weather. That weather, the wind had to help that ball give it another 20, 30 yards.
No putter, no problem. Slams that into the cut. Teed up here at the par 4 second. Frank, what do players need to look out for off the tee?
This hole has been lengthened in 2014, some 30-plus yards. Bunkering down the right has also changed, making this drive a little bit more important now. You can't just blaze away over the hill. Green also changed with the addition of 2 bunkers on the left side.
That's in the fairway. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
This is a good-looking shot. Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's a formality now.
The impressive goes to 3 under with that birdie for the tournament. Frank, what's the strategy here off the tee at the par 5 third?
For the long hitters, they still think that they can reach this par 5 and 2 comfortably with a good tee shot. For the shorter hitters, it really is a thought about where you lay up that second shot to try and leave a good third shot yardage in. Still a good tee shot, though. That hazard down the right side protects against someone who's a little too cavalier off the tee.
Just blasted that tee ball, Frank. Chance to set himself up for a good scoring opportunity with his second shot here. Appears to be tracking well. Can't hide the flagstick from that man. Settles in over the putt.
Huge move. What a great eagle.
Just a thunderbolt on the grounds right there in the third place. Action is underway, and we'll take you out to hole number 4. Frank, this is a very nice start to the round. Couple of birdies on the scorecard. Looks extremely solid.
Yeah, it looks well poised, actually, to have a very good round today.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Birdie try up next. It's a very makeable putt here. He is currently 5 under for his round. So, Frank, what do you think of the start so far?
Rock solid. Very impressed.
Frank, this is a demanding driving hole, the par 4 fifth.
Another hole that bends gently to the left. There used to be 2 bunkers down the right side. It's now 1, and it's in the perfect position to make you think about your tee shot. Really, you have to be left of that. The new tee's added a little bit of yardage to it. The green still looks the same as what it once was. It tilts slightly from left to right. But you can see why a draw is the preferred shot at TPC Scottsdale.
Oh, come on, that's not even human. That's ridiculous. That is 350 plus yards. Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Well, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
Frank, this would be a nice way to jumpstart the round.
Yeah, his momentum can quickly go in the right direction if he makes this.
How about 7 under par now? Now to the par 4 6th. Decision time, Frank. Driver, or do you go with 3-wood?
A lot of that's going to depend on if there's any breeze. If the breeze is at your back, you can drive it all the way down the right side and take those 2 bunkers down the right completely out of play. This hole's been stiffened up, though. The length hasn't increased, but that bunkering in that choke point. So, the strategy. Do you have the length to get past them? Or, if you have to lay up, it's going to leave a much longer second shot.
Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living.
That is classy.
Not a chance of going in.
Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie. And what a day it's been. On to the par 3 7th, 215 yards from that back tee box, Frank.
This hole hasn't really changed. Still has that V-shaped green where it's very narrow in the front. A high-flying shot in here that carries that front edge, and you'll find the further and further you go back there, the more receptive and that green starts to widen.
This one's looking good. Well, that's just a tee to green clinic, a seminar on how to do it the right way. Every single green in regulation. Oh, yeah, he's going to love that one, Frank. Sensational effort.
Oh, just eat that up.
Frank, the par 4 8th. This is a good hole.
It is. A dog leg to the left forces the player to go out the right, and this will play every inch of its yardage, which is over 470 yards. Green's still pretty much the same with that false front, unless there's a flag position in the front. You're really going to have to fly at least 20 yards or so into that green, otherwise that ball is going to run towards the front.
A great way to start a hole, nicely placed in the fairway. Second shot, good look at the green. Good swing, good shot yet again. He's making the game look very simple right now. See it, hit it, and he's got it right on track. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Really starting to shine, moves to 10 under for the tournament. Here at the par 4 9th hole, Frank, what's the strategy off the tee?
Well, there's one bunker down the right side that you have to be very wary of. 325 yards to carry that, so it's very much in play, and just over 290 to reach it. Ideally, you have to go left about that down the left side. But really, this is a second shot hole because this green is not very deep.
That is tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from there.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on there. Easy birdie.
And getting ready for the putt. Well, in the words of the late, great baseball commentator for the Yankees, Phil Rizzuto, it's time for Holy Cow, Whitey. That's 11 under par. Getting set to start the back nine here at TPC Scottsdale. We're on the tee at number 10.
A dogleg right par 4, and if you teed off the first, this is going to be the first true dogleg right that you'll face. A little bunker put down the left side. Ideally, you're going to have to play left and short of that, which is going to leave you something in the vicinity of 150 yards to a green that should be very receptive.
And he pays a price for that.
Yeah, when you don't see the top of the ball in the rough, you know it's not sitting pretty. You'll need a bit of force to extract one out of there.
Superb shot.
Well, that's as good as it's going to get. There's going to be no worries about making that one.
So a tester from 4 feet. Well, who knows? It is a 4-round tournament, setting himself up for a good weekend, maybe a great one. The young star makes his birdie. On to the par 4 11th hole. Frank, what's the best play here?
No bunkers really here to worry about, Rich, so you have to pick something in the distance as a good line. Something a little bit away from the water that protects the left side of this fairway. And it's adjacent to the 15th hole, the other par 5 coming home. So a good drive, perhaps with a little bit of cut off the tee. And that should shape up nicely for this long par 4.
That was just a beautiful drive and hit it solid and right in the middle. And he's set up for his second shot here, looking to knock it on the green. Should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Chance for birdie after that beautiful shot. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Par 3 12 may not be as famous as the par 3 16th, but Frank, you think this may be a tougher and even better hole?
We see more bogeys and double bogeys here on 12 than 16 will ever see, and courtesy of the water behind and to the right of this green. If you're going to bail out, find one of those bunkers. A good bunker player obviously can get it up and down, but it's still no snack trying to record your par 3 at 12.
Can't hide the flagstick from that man.
He is just unbelievable. That never deviated offline.
Sinks the putt for birdie. Par 5 13th, chance for birdie, or maybe even eagle if you're bold and brave enough, but also, Frank, chance for disaster here?
Well, there is. Water very much in play down the right side. There's a bunker down the left, too. If you finish up in that, there's no way you're going for this par 5 and 2. Then it becomes a little bit of a zigzag mission. The second shot either has to be hit down the right side, just skirting that bunker in the front, or it has to be all carry.
To where the hole is cut, just about 190 yards, Frank. Green in regulation. Locked in on the read and the speed. And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
Par 4 14th, Frank, it seems as though you'd be pretty happy with a par here.
You would, even though the putting surfaces here at TPC Scottsdale are excellent. It's going to take 2 good shots to reach this 14th hole. You can get in a little bit of trouble off the tee. That bunker on the left very much in play. The rough on the right side is no snack either, because the ball, more often than not, will finish well above the player's feet. And of course that green is very, very narrow, well protected by bunkers on the left.
Little uphill to this green, Frank. This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I'd say.
Terrific golf shot. And now that for an easy birdie. Doing what needs to be done. You need to make them from that distance. All right, Frank, now the fun begins. We are teed up at the par 5 15th hole. Plenty to talk about here.
Yeah, the fairway down the left side is anything other than straight. It's more like a shipwreck, the raggedness of it. And that water in play, well, if you do find one on the fairway, you can sort of always wave across to the people that are walking down the 11th hole. Find the fairway, you can reach this par 5 and 2. A little bit of an island-looking green there, bunker on the left, and also another bunker just short right. But a fairway missed here. Well, you can rack up 5, 6, 7. We've seen all sorts of scores here at 15.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Really good distance control there, playing well to his strengths. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Just sensational golf, and he finishes it off with an eagle. Well, partner, here we go. Players have characterized it as terrifying, chaotic, amazing. The stadium atmosphere here at this hole, the 16th of par 3, is really spectacular, isn't it, Frank?
It is. Because of the atmosphere, the number of people, this is the closest a golfer gets to like kicking a field goal in a Super Bowl. It's just surrounded by people. It's not really the difficulty of the hole. Just over 160 yards, a modest par 3. There's no water in trouble. But it's an atmosphere that golfers never normally are familiar with.
You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Continues to roll it very well all day long. Frank, 16 was fun. 17 is always exciting here at TPC Scottsdale.
You've got to be careful because that water that sort of goes around the left side of the green, if that ball's coming in with a little bit of hook, it's just going to keep going left. There's the one bunker you really have to focus on. That's the one in the middle of the fairway. 280 will carry that. Chances are the ball can run onto the green. It takes a brave man really to try and fly this ball all the way there. It's not really needed because there's always another 10 or 15 yards of run. Factor that in.
Wouldn't call it a great approach shot, but it still ends up in the fringe.
A little bit of magic from here. The hole's not over.
Pretty good shot right there, about 10 feet away, setting up the putt for birdie. This is an 11-foot putt. That was well judged, wasn't it? To the 18th hole now, and Frank, the original designers stepped in and they made this hole quite a bit more challenging.
Yeah, they certainly have stiffened it up. The longest hitters in the game, the Dustin Johnsons, the Bubba Watsons, the J.B. Holmes, used to take it completely over the lake down the left side where there was just one paltry bunker. Now there's a series of bunkers, almost like the church pews at Oakmont, that are littered down the left side, stopping that attack. You're going to have to respect this hole that much more off the tee. Find the fairway, it's still a short iron in, but this finishing hole is now a proper finishing hole.
Can't hide the flagstick from that man. He's putting for birdie now. Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie. And what a day it's been. Frank, you surprised to see that name on top of the leaderboard?
I am surprised to see the name, but not that style of golf leading. It was great performance, especially tee to green. You don't often see people start that quickly.
This is EA Sports coverage of the PGA Tour. Here at the TPC Scottsdale in Arizona, and Frank, when so many people tune in to watch this great event, they think immediately of the 16th hole with all of those fans jammed in. It's like Fenway Park inside the desert there. But it's much more than that little par 3, isn't it?
It certainly is more than that, Rich. The TPC Scottsdale is a great venue for a PGA Tour event. It's a blend of everything. Birdie opportunities, holes that are fought by water, bunkering that's being changed. All in all, it's a great atmosphere with nearly 500,000 people that visit this during the tournament week.
Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up. Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
That is a beauty, a real beauty. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt.
A great start.
Now to the second hole, and Frank, what can you tell us about this par 4?
A new tee has been added, lengthening this hole 30-plus yards. Plus, what used to be just one bunker on the right side of the screen has changed to a little pot bunker and the addition of 2 bunkers on the left side. Still a semi-blind tee shot and the hole just bends softly to the left. Another very good par 4 here at TPC Scottsdale.
And that's going to stay on the fairway here at the second hole. Second shot, good look at the green. I mean, that's how the game is played, right there.
He's just making it look so easy. That birdie coming up, formality.
This would be nice. 2 straight birdies. How about this? Birdies at 1 and 2. We could be in for something pretty special today. Now on to the third. First par 5 on the course here at TPC Scottsdale.
Yeah, the length of the hole hasn't really changed. Used to be 2 fairway bunkers down the left. Now there's only 1. Still a hazard that runs down the right side. A strategic hold if you can't make this par 5 and 2 in a brand new green that has been completely changed.
What a drive. Just tattooed that. Now from a good position in the fairway, his second shot. Frank, how did he do there?
Well, he's inside 30 feet, but 27 feet, it's not exactly what you'd call close. When you consider the length of that putt, it's a good putt.
Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. So the dominant performance continues.
Yeah, we're watching two tournaments right now, the one at the top and the rest.
Frank, what kind of shot is required here at the par 3 fourth?
A little drop shot par 3 down the hill in today's standards because it's under 200 yards. Series of 3 tee boxes, so plenty to choose from there. The entry into the green is well protected now by the two bunkers, one in the center and one on the right front of this green.
So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot.
This is an awkward length.
Just has the feel today. Well, Frank, now at the 5th hole, the par 4, the challenge stiffens just a bit.
Yeah, the longest par 4. Obviously, in the start of this golf course, around the 470-yard mark, two bunkers down the right have been changed to one, but it's in the perfect position now. Of course, that new tee added to add a little bit of length to this hole. The green still remains relatively similar to what it used to be.
Now it's right in his wheelhouse, good position where he can attack the pin.
Yeah, he has all those options now. That ball's sitting up, you can bring it in high, you can bring it in low. The choice is yours.
Good looking shot right here. Just a case of a hole suiting the player's eye. Made the birdie yesterday, and he has a good chance to make another one today. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Par 4 6th, and Frank, a couple of options here.
Yeah, a hole that bends to the left. A draw is the preferred shot off the tee. The longer hitters will have a big advantage. They'll be able to get it down there and just have a pitch or a short wedge into this. If you're not, that long, then you're going to have to lay it back short of those bunkers. That's going to leave a lengthy second shot.
They'll pay a little bit of a price for missing the fairway here because from that rough, you cannot control the spin on the golf ball. Well, that's how you play the game, right there. Birdie here yesterday. This putt again for birdie. Comfortably inside the cut line, the young prodigy makes another birdie. On to the par 3 7th, 215 yards from that back tee box, Frank.
This hole hasn't really changed. Still has that V-shaped green where it's very narrow in the front. A high-flying shot in here that carries that front edge, and you'll find the further and further you go back there, the more receptive and that green starts to widen.
Boy, I'm reminded of what an old caddy used to say about the great Lanny Watkins when he was on fire. You can't hide the flagstick from that man.
Count that. That's a birdie. Frank, the par 4 8th. This is a good hole.
It is a dogleg to the left, forces the player to go out the right, and this will play every inch of its yardage, which is over 470 yards. Green's still pretty much the same with that false front. Unless there's a flag position in the front, you're really going to have to fly it at least 20 yards or so into that green. Otherwise, that ball is going to run towards the front.
Frank, how impressive has this round been considering the strong winds?
Oh, it's remarkable, Rich. You look at everybody else out there struggling. This has been a round to savour.
Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. Absolutely throwing darts just inside of 5 feet. Settles in over the putt. Good putt. Finishing out the front side now at the 9th. And Frank, what do you think of this par 4?
Nice way to finish the front 9, Rich. Very thin green, protected by that little splash bunker in the front. Iron players get a real advantage here. One bunker down the right side to be aware of off the tee, though. I doubt anybody could carry that.
Well, this one has a chance to be really good.
Oh, that was sweet. Straight down the middle.
Ready for a second shot, trying to knock it on the green. Beautiful shot. That is tight.
Unbelievable. That is one to savour for the rest of the round.
This for another birdie on this hole on the week. That has to feel good. That's a birdie. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back. Now, this is not heading in the right direction.
It looks like it's going to be in the rough. Well, not this time. That one's in the rough. Might be a tough shot coming up. About 80 yards left, Frank. Terrific golf shot. And now that for an easy birdie. Doing what needs to be done. You need to make them from that distance. Now at the par 4 11th, Frank, I really like this hole.
Well, you might be the only one, Rich, because this is an absolute scorecard wrecker. Water all the way down the left side. There's 2 bunkers. Don't worry about that. They're not off the tee. They're around the green. They protect the left front and the back. If you think you can bail out down the right side, well, you could find cactus and all sorts of crazy things down the right. And believe me, go down there, more than anything, they'll wreck your scorecard as well.
Chance to get it close here. Frank, these days golfers are training like high-level athletes from other sports. Rory McIlroy, for example, has been using a guy by the name of Steve McGregor, who happened to be the trainer for the New York Knicks of the NBA.
And part of his training now is high altitude. The majority of the medal holders, for example, in the Olympics, or medal winners in the Olympics, actually use high altitude training. You know, you can develop more red blood cells in a shorter period of time. But, you know, golf, we've had so many different types of training from the athlete side. But you go back to the old days of Henry Cotton beating an old tire. Vijay Singh picked up on that. Or even the rhythm of Sam Snead. He used to count in the rhythm. It was 1, 2, 3. It was 1 at the top of the swing, 2 at impact, and 3 at the follow-through. All those things are still very valid today.
This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, actually.
Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie, and what a day it's been. Par 5 13, Frank, what kind of scoring opportunity is this?
Well, anytime you get on a par 5, obviously birdies and eagles come to mind. 13's been changed a little bit over the years. The split fairway's gone, now it's just one fairway. Water in play, bunker on the left side, they certainly define this fairway. And they've toughened up the front and left side of this par 5 green. The longer hitter, the high ball hitter, still will get a reward at 13.
Nice long tee shot there and a good lie, Frank. And from the fairway for his second shot here. Not a huge miss, Frank, but did lose this just a little to the right.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to catch a piece of the green, right?
And a chance for eagle after that perfectly played shot. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point.
Normally you'd be happy to take 2 from there. What's one going to feel like? Great putt.
Par 4 14th, Frank, it seems as though you'd be pretty happy with a par here.
You would, even though the putting surfaces here at TPC Scottsdale are excellent. It's going to take 2 good shots to reach this 14th hole. You can get in a little bit of trouble off the tee. That bunker on the left very much in play. The rough on the right side is no snack either, because the ball, more often than not, will finish well above the player's feet. And of course that green is very, very narrow, well protected by bunkers on the left.
Good tee shot, good lie, and now a good chance to take advantage here on this hole. Frank, straight uphill with this approach shot, what do you have to factor in terms of club selection and setup over the ball?
Well, you're going to have to take at least an extra club to make up for that added elevation. And also it's tougher to get onto that front foot.
That is an excellent play right there. The approach, getting him another good look. Shouldn't be a problem here. Oh yeah, he's made it for a birdie. Great scoring opportunity here at the par 5 15th, but Frank, I'm wondering, as a player, is your mind beginning to think about what's ahead at that par 3 16th hole?
Oh, they are. This is really the finishing stretch at TPC Scottsdale, where you get all these swing holes. 15 is a swing hole. 16, 17, and 18, where so many changes in the score can actually happen. But this one here is all about finding the fairway. A good drive down here will be well rewarded because you'll have a chance to reach this par 5 and 2.
Has it come down yet? Not only is it straight, it's mega long.
Well, with a good shot here, Rich, I tell you, this eagle on the cards, hole very reachable from where he is.
Don't get many opportunities like this. This is a good place to take advantage. Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. Superb shot.
Well, that's as good as it's going to get. There's going to be no worries about making that one.
This would give him an eagle. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Now at the par 5 15th, and Frank, there is plenty to catch your eye. There's also quite a bit to catch your ear. You can hear the roars at the par 3 16th. So how do you focus on the task at hand?
Great question, Rich. You realize you're about to enter the stadium part of the golf course, but this is the last par 5 that you're going to play. We've seen eagles here over the years. We've seen many a player hit it in the water off the tee or water short of the green. Certainly one of the tougher tee shots coming in. No bunkers here to worry about, just that huge lake to the left. Find the fairway. You might just find the green.
Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's a formality now.
Simple, solid, and he'll take it.
But one that you need to make.
Frank, when you get to the 17th hole, we always recall maybe the single most bizarre shot in the history of golf.
Yeah, everybody talks about maybe a hole-in-one at 16, but really 17. And the player was Andrew McGee. It was a good tee shot, don't get me wrong. But Rich needed an assist.
Well, the assist came from Tom Byram, whose brother Kurt is a commentator for the Golf Channel. Tom Byram was just minding his own business, standing on the green, sort of leaning on his putter, and you know what happened.
Yeah, the ball hit Tom Byram's putter and then careened into the hole. So, 17. Made famous, a little bit of history with a couple of names to drag up from the past.
On the green, and looking at a birdie opportunity, trying to make yet another birdie. Everybody loves him. Birdie on the card.
Rich, 18 was always considered a long finishing hole.
Not for J.B. Holmes.
Yeah, the water was always in play. And then the day he took it over the left side and carried everything and went on to win, that completely changed the way this golf course played ever since that day.
And it resulted in some of the changes we're seeing now.
Yeah, evidence, the new bunkering down the left side. But it showed us all how much and how strong these guys are, how much they've improved over the years.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special. Should be safely on deck.
Oh, just a superb shot.
You're not going to see much better than that all day today.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
So all the scores have been posted for round number 2, and look who is on top of the leaderboard, Frank.
Yeah, with 2 very solid rounds of golf. Key right now, just stay out of your own way and keep it up. The pressure will start to build. We know that as you get closer to the end of this tournament.
Today's coverage brought to you by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. Today we're here at Wolf Creek Golf Club in Mesquite, Nevada. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports, set to bring you all the action out on the course. And Frank, what can you tell us about Wolf Creek?
It's a mesmerizing layout. You can see from above, Rich, in amongst all these sort of canyon areas and boulders and that. I've never really seen a golf course like this. It's like Disneyland for the golfers. It's phenomenal, and each hole has a totally different look. It's hard to imagine you can build a golf course in an area like this.
That is tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from there. This looks like it's going to find the target.
That is professional with a capital P right there.
That's stealing.
Frank, you need to be a bit of a rock climber just to get to this second tee. 445-yard hole. What a view. Ready to tee off here at the second hole. Quite a view from up here, Frank.
Once again, big elevated tee. It's hard to imagine you have a tee that high up, but that'll shorten that 445 yards. Obviously, it's a dog leg left. You've got to be careful if you hit driver and two straight, because then you can run out. A nice tee shot in the middle there, and then you've got a relatively straight shot into this sort of par 4 green, obviously going a little bit back up the hill. And once again, a little bit like that opening hole, sort of different tiers on that green. Try and make sure that you're on the right one.
Frank, this is the kind of start every player wants.
Yeah, swinging it well. Certainly hit the ball in the right place there, and good thing too, he's actually putting well.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on there. Easy birdie.
And getting ready for the putt. Six under par now. Back to the tee here at Wolf Creek. A lot of sand along the right side of this fairway leading up to the green, Frank.
Yeah, I can't even count how many bunkers they got down that right side. It's easy to see where not to go. So obviously you want to get that ball up on that left side. And then really it's just a short pitch across. There, this hole's only 383 yards and it won't even really play its distance. But, of course, you've got to be careful. It's not long, but fairway first once again here. You can see all the problems around there if you do miss this fairway. It's that sneaky distance.
Good stroke. Just came up empty. Frank going for another birdie here.
Just to get on a real roll.
Oh, yes. Get in. 7 under par. Another birdie. Now to the par 5 fifth hole. Cut it over the ridge here, Frank.
Well, if you can, if you dare. And there is actually a stream here. I know we're in the middle of a desert, but if you can clear that stream, that's the main thing. This is a crazy-looking tee shot because it looks like you want to go down that left, down that canyon area, but if you don't know the exact distance you fly the ball, then you're going to be in lots and lots of problems. Those collection of 3 bunkers down the right side, as long as you can avoid that, then that second shot to this par 5, that's not overly long, it's just under 500 yards, is certainly reachable. Second shot will play uphill to a elevated green with, once again, 3 different levels.
Good-looking shot right here. And that's how you play the game, right there. Some tester from 4 feet. There it is, for eagle. Frank, standing on the 6th tee and looking out at this golf course, I can't help but think that if you hit it offline here, you're going to be playing golf with the billy goats.
Yeah, you might actually turn into a billy goat come the end of the day, that's for sure. The huge elevation changes, once again, are apparent here at the 6th. Tis a dogleg to the right, not really a driver unless you want to sort of bring that creek into play or that little stream that cuts across. Second shot, a little bit uphill. Those bunkers are really where you shouldn't go. We all know that. And this green is anything other than flat. A fun-looking hole, too, and a fun hole to play.
Chance for birdie after that beautiful shot. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Now -10 for the round. Now on to the par 4 7th hole. Is this a reachable par 4, Frank?
Distance-wise, you would think so, but the designer has done something to avoid that, and it's put all this water in front of the green. It would take a mammoth tee shot, and that's something like 300 yards through the air if you're going to try and even drive this green. Is the risk worth it? Well, if you're just playing with your friends, maybe it is. Otherwise, you just lay it up just past those those bunkers on the right and the left. Get it down there on the flat. A little pitch you would think is simple, but because of the slope of this fairway, chances are you might not get a flat lie, and it's going to make that second shot that much harder.
He moved that one out there, but he is not going to like the lie.
That moved down in the rough.
And it makes the green in regulation. So just a formality here. He really has it going now. Consecutive birdies. Frank, the par 3/8 really is Wolf Creek in a nutshell. It's hard, and it's really pretty.
It is, and it's really long, too. Just under 250 yards off that back tee. Slight bit of elevation, but you can see from the tee, obviously, where you don't want to go and where you do go. If you're a little, tender of heart, then aim for the right side and avoid all that water down the left.
What a great shot. Right next to the hole. It's about 5 feet. Frank, 2 is nice, but
3 is even better.
5 birdies for the day. What a performance. Set to round out the front side here at Wolf Creek with a par 4.
Fun hole for the big hitter, too. They can really take advantage of this. The last fairway bunker down there on the right side is just over 300 yards to get over it. And longer hitters could nearly drive it in the greenside bunker on the right. So just tee it up there. You're playing desert golf for a reason. Enjoy it. Just have a little flick in here. Chance, too, to have a little birdie at the end of your front 9.
Outstanding strike right there, right off the center of the club face. And a good chance for birdie. Continuing to play well, a birdie. Started the back 9 here at Wolf Creek Golf Club in Mesquite, Nevada. Rich Lerner for EA Sports with my partner Frank Nobilo. Frank, tell us about the 10th.
It looks intimidating off the back of this tee, Rich, and that's because the desert ridge on that right side, it sort of blocks your view and you don't see the right side of this fairway. Once you realize there's a lot more room to the right, then that tee shot becomes a little bit easier. Now also the angle of this green, you're going to see it sort of turn to the right there. So you've really got to be careful on where the flag is positioned on this green. If they put the flag back right, then obviously that's the hardest this hole's going to play. Flag sort of left of center, then this still could very much be a birdie hole.
On the green, and a chance for birdie. Getting set now over the putt. Didn't think this was possible, but 15 under par already. On to the 11th hole, we're looking downhill, 215 yards to the green.
And this is one of the holes that you realize you're at Wolf Creek. You would never see this hole anywhere else in the world. It's amazing when you stand on this tee. You see all of the canyons around, but there is a little green area down there surrounded by a couple of bunkers. It's a great-looking par 3. It measures 215 yards, very playable, And you never know, today might be the day where you make birdie.
Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. Just a couple of feet. Stroke that with authority. Now to the par 5, 12. Pretty big hole with a really big green.
And a really good blue area to the left, called water there. That's to be avoided off this tee, that's for sure. A good drive that avoids all of that. And then the hole is certainly reachable, but as you can see, water creeps in again, back right on this hole. So just don't get too cavalier here. A 5 wouldn't be the worst score. I know you want better, but believe me, seen many as 6s and 7s racked up here at 12.
We knew it right away. Picked up the tee, didn't even look at it. We can see it. It's perfect. Right down the middle of the fairway. This is a good-looking shot. Frank, that is how it's done.
Yeah, take a gross of those. That is a lesson in itself.
And now a chance for eagle. Right in the heart. 13th hole, and Frank, Wolf Creek is really kind of a macho golf course because you can stand on a tee like this and say, you know what? I'm going to take this one over the mountains.
And then, if you do, then you flip the coin. Is it in play or is it out of play? This is one hole. You just you realize you're in the middle of the desert, that's for sure. And one hole that you think, well, if I play this hole a couple of times, I might just get the hang of it.
Well, that is a ball-striking clinic right there. Another dazzling approach shot. Pretty close. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Now to the 14th hole, and Frank, this is probably the best par 4 here at Wolf Creek.
It's certainly the hole that they take the most photographs on, and Rich, and you can see why. Great vantage point of the whole golf course. Hole's just sort of littered with bunkers down the left side, so you know where not to go once again. Go to the right side of that. Hole just keeps sort of hooking around that left side. It plays under 450 yards. It's fun. Just sort of draw it a little off the tee, draw it a little into the green, and you'll be fine.
Oh, my goodness. That is on in one. Wow. What an incredible shot. Frank, how rare would this be if this putt drops?
Well, this is I'd like to say once in a lifetime, but on the odd occasion we do see back-to-back eagles, but it certainly is something to watch.
Now to the short par 3 15th hole here at Wolf Creek. What is this, Frank? Just a wedge or a 9-iron?
That's all, Rich, but it's very tempting to get greedy here. And well, you pay the price, obviously, if you miss the green on the left down on those bunkers because they're a good 6-7 feet below the level of the green. But with a wedge or a 9-iron, who doesn't go aiming at the flag?
That's how the game is played, right there.
Oh, he's just making it look so easy. That birdie coming up, formality.
Just a little tap in here. Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie, and what a day it's been. Short par 4, 16th hole, measures only 393 yards. But Frank, as is the case with pretty much every hole, despite the yardage, there's plenty of trouble.
It does. It plays tricks on the mind's eye here. It looks like it's a dog leg going one way, then back the other way. But really, it's built as a straight hole just across the canyon. And that's the way you've got to play it. I don't think you can drive the green, even the longest hitters at 393 yards. But just a nice drive down there. Take the bunkers on, get it past there. And before you know it, you've got a little wedge in here. And it should sit up nicely for a birdie.
Been pretty good all day from this distance. Just trying to take care of business. Just sensational golf, and he finishes it off with an eagle. Frank, you licking your chops here at the par 5, 17th hole?
Oh, why not? A chance to reach a par 5 and 2, but there's still pitfalls in front of you. A little creek or stream runs across the fairway, so really limiting the distance you can hit that tee shot, but it's still reachable from just short of that creek. Find trouble off the tee, then obviously you turn it into a 3-shotter, but a good tee shot, and it's too tempting to resist not going for this green.
Great strike and a great result. Sitting up, good chance to attack the flag.
Well, with a good shot here, Rich, this eagle on the cards, hole very reachable from where he is.
Don't get many opportunities like this. This is a good place to take advantage. And a chance for eagle after that perfectly played shot.
Right. This is an awkward length.
No doubt about that one. That was struck with confidence. 18th hole, and Frank, again, a good scoring opportunity. Short par 4.
Yeah, if you looked at the scorecard, you'd think you could drive this green, but one quick look at the trouble in front and to the right of the screen, and you realize that's probably not the prudent play. Really, something 230, 240 yards off the tee in that vicinity is going to leave you just a flick wedge into this green. It is a rather narrow green, but from that distance, you'd expect to hit it close.
Couldn't have done much better than that. An eagle is very possible. Frank, it's one thing to jumpstart your round. This would ignite the round.
Yeah, you don't normally see two par fives back to back, so the chances of having consecutive eagles is so rare.
Presented by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. Always great to be in Troon, Scotland at the Royal Troon Golf Club, founded in 1878. Frank, it is a golf course, true links. It's bathed in history. Uh-oh, this could be trouble. This one is way offline and headed towards those out-of-bounds stakes. Might deceive the eye of even the most skilled player. This is Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo in the booth for EA Sports. We'll be calling all of the action out on the course. And let's jump down to the tee and get this started. Right out of the center of the bat.
Did you hear that?
Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living.
What a display of shot making this has been, Frank.
That incredible approach shot there. The easiest of birdies coming up.
-1, getting early going. Here at the par 3 second hole, just about 170 yards. Yeah, about 150 yards left here, Frank. Good swing, good shot yet again. Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on there. Easy birdie.
Frank going for another birdie here.
Just to get on a real roll.
And that drops for another birdie. 2 in a row to start the round. Frank, plenty of scoring opportunities in the early portion of this golf course. We're now at a par 5, the third hole, and it's only 528 yards.
You can see why we're going to see a lot of people perhaps being 3 under through the...
What was he thinking there?
I have no earthly idea.
The home of golf, the old course at St. Andrews. Rich Loader alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports.
Yeah, and Rich, this is just a wonderful place to play the game. Every player that's ever sort of learned to swing the golf club, this is the one course they wanted to play. The reason why is because every great this game has ever seen has walked across Saucon Bridge.
Stepping up to the first tee at such an iconic venue, Frank, what is going through your mind here?
Well, you'd think with such a wide fairway it would be the easiest fairway to hit, but Swilcan, there's an out of bounds down the right, and then the Swilcan burn runs all the way across from the right-hand side in front of the first green. So really, you want to make sure you have a full shot into this first green.
Oh, what a shot. Setting up for an eagle here. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. So 2 under early on. Here we are now at the second. Always so important to try and establish a good round in these opening holes, Frank.
In the second hole, especially with a prevailing breeze and today's modern equipment, the odd player has actually driven this green, but you really see the tone of the golf course. The middle of the golf course is protected. There's a series of bunkers down there, but left is always the safe side of the golf course. It's the best line to play your second shot from on the whole golf course is always the right side, and we see that here at the second.
And that's going to stay on the fairway here at the second hole. Ready for his second shot, trying to knock it on the green. Sensational shot right there, Frank.
Oh, you start beating your chest after a shot like that. That's the best we've seen into this hole to date.
No problems early. Looks good.
It does look good. This bodes well. We might be in for a very, very low round today.
At the third hole now, Frank, it looks relatively easy, but you know there's some danger lurking somewhere out there on the old course.
There is. There's the pot bunkers down the right side. This is a tee where really you want to have an idea where that wind is coming from. If it's into your face, you might want to be a little cautious and go towards the middle of the golf course. But if it's behind you, well, then it's worth challenging that right side.
Well, they claim it's a reachable par 4. We haven't seen a whole lot of people do it today. We just saw it right there. Well done. That had to really hurt, Frank, because it looked good all the way.
Well, this will test his mettle.
Frank, this would be a nice way to jumpstart the round.
Yeah, his momentum can quickly go in the right direction if he makes this.
Frank, a much more difficult hole here at the fourth at the old course.
Yeah, that new championship tee has really made 4 a very hard par 4. 2 ways to play it. Down the right, that's a very, very narrow strip of fairway. Most will go to the left side, a little more conservative. But either way, tough second shot. There's something about a well-hit shot.
Paying attention like a little kid at school, Frank. That baby's sitting up.
Sitting up. It's got the best view as well. You don't even need binoculars from where that ball is.
Beautiful shot. That is tight.
Unbelievable. That is one to savor for the rest of the round.
Playing some outstanding golf right now. That's another birdie and 5 under par. Chance here at the par 5 fifth, Frank, to make a little move early in the round.
Yeah, it's certainly eagles galore. The 5th hole is one of the biggest greens on the golf course, shared with the 13th. So good tee shot, and you have a nice big target, even though it's a blind second shot coming up.
They'll be happy with that. In the fairway, now a good chance to attack this hole. Second shot, good look at the green. Good looking shot right here. Big swing right there and a great result. And now a chance for a big swing in momentum with an eagle coming up. Now to 7 under par. Moving on to the par 4 6th hole here at the birthplace of golf. This hole shares a green actually with the 12th. How do you work your way around this hole, Frank?
Some sort of tee shot. 3 bunkers that look like they're in the left center of the fairway and a series of bunkers down the right. So somehow bisect those, and then you set yourself up to a green with a false front.
That is an excellent play right there. The approach, giving him another good look. Frank, how rare would this be if this putt drops?
Well, this is I'd like to say once in a lifetime, but on the odd occasion we do see back-to-back eagles, but it certainly is something to watch.
Continuing from the oldest championship in the game. It's the Open Championship at the old course at St. Andrews. Here at the 7th hole now, Frank.
Yeah, you try and hit your tee shot over a little stone there. It's called the March stone. That's a good line for like left of center. And, well, if you can just work it off that, good tee shot, you're only going to have a pitch in here to a green that's set up very high.
Frank, where's this one headed?
Well, might just catch the left side of the green. Might be on the dance floor, but it's going to be a long way away from the band.
I mean, that is a sight to behold. What a spectacular shot we just saw on the par 4 with a drive in one. So a long putt there and just didn't read it quite right. Just want to nestle this one down to within a couple of feet. Good try, just didn't quite read the break, Frank.
It shouldn't be a problem, you'd think, cleaning up here for par.
Wow, I thought he made that. My goodness, what does a guy have to do to make a putt out here? This is EA Sports, PGA Tour coverage coming your way. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports, coming to you from one of the most famous golf courses in the world, the Stadium Course at TPC Sawgrass. And Frank, not only does this belong to the best players in the world, but really to any player who wants to tee it up.
That's exactly right, Rich. It's open to the public, but that was also one of the directives when they first built this golf course. First of all, to host a championship, but then allow the fans of the game, people out there watching right now, to be able to go and play that very golf course. And they've succeeded.
Starting the round here at the TPC Sawgrass, the first hole, 423-yard par 4. And Frank, it's actually a mirror image of the 10th hole. So what's the strategy as players get started?
Ideally, you want to keep it down the left, but that bunker all the way in the distance does come into play for the longer hitters. For a lot of players, just simply a 3-wood down there, you're only going to have a short iron in. And this green is sort of an irregular shaped green, and it sort of slopes left to right. So ideally, if you can, you keep your tee shot down the right side of this fairway.
I mean, that's how the game is played, right there.
He's just making it look so easy. That birdie coming up, formality.
Just a tap in to finish the hole. 1 under early in the round. How about this second, a par 5?
Well, if you're brave, you try and flash it down that tree line down the left, but there's a couple of limbs that poke out. Every now and again, they catch an errant tee shot.
But this could be really good, Frank.
Straight at it. If you've hit the ball far enough down there, as long as you can carry it to at least the front, it's definitely worth going.
Another good swing, and it looks like, Frank, another really good shot. What a shot. Almost in. Makeable putt right here. He is currently sitting at 1 under for the round. So, Frank, what do you think of the start so far?
Rock solid. Very impressed.
So we started with a par 4, par 5, and now the 177-yard par 3 third hole. Plenty of hazards here, Frank.
Yeah, you really break this green up into 3 portions. Front left, front right, and that back, just on top of the ridge.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on that. Easy birdie.
Drops another birdie and moves to 4 under on the day. Frank, the bunker on the right, I wouldn't call that a pot bunker. That is some kind of a hazard, isn't it?
Yeah, meanders all the way down the right side, but really it's the lesser of 2 evils. I'd rather be in that bunker on the right than the hill on the left. That's fine.
Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living.
Can't hide the flagstick from that man. And getting ready for the putt.
2 in a row.
Right in it. Now to the 5th. This long par 4 thought to be one of the most difficult holes on the front side here at the TPC Sawgrass.
If you've got plenty of length in the bag, you can almost take it directly over the bunker on the right. But if you're not as long, you have to air down that left side.
Wow, Frank, look at that one run out. Just blistered that tee shot.
That has to be 325 if it's an inch.
Outstanding strike right there, right off the center of the club face, and a good chance for birdie. Frank, 2 is nice, but
3 is even better.
this is impressive now. 6 under par, 2 straight birdies. Hole number 6, 393-yard par 4. What's in store for us here, Frank?
Another one really where you're just trying to poke it down there. When you stand on that back tee, there's an overhanging limb that you just get an eye of. So if you try and hit that ball a little too low, that's going to encourage a miss hit.
He just blasted that one down the fairway. Out there about 325 yards. And it makes the green in regulation. Just a little tap in here. How about 7 under par now? 7th hole here at Sawgrass, Frank, a bit uncomfortable off the tee.
It is. It reminds me a little bit of the opening hole, much longer version, where when you stand on the tee and look at the green, it's a straightaway hole. But that fairway goes to the left and it comes back to the right. But they're all optical illusions.
Can't ask for much more here at the 7th. He has hit a good one. Looking to keep it going here, Frank.
Yeah, another example of things just working as they should. Should be safely on deck.
What a display of shot making this has been, Frank.
Oh, that incredible approach shot there. The easiest of birdies coming up.
Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. TPC Sawgrass, the fabled stadium course designed by the legendary Pete Dye. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Novelo. Here at the 8th, Frank, most players are happy walking out of here with a par 3.
And the reason why, it's a very narrow entry to this green. It's just littered with bunkers around, left, behind, to the side, and even short. Once you get further up the green, though, even though this is sort of an undulating green, it starts to widen up. So don't get trapped into just looking at the front of this hole. Rich, I'm starting to lose count. This is just birdie after birdie.
It's all-time stuff. I mean, this is territory we just don't visit very often. Frank, now at the ninth, this really is one of my favorite par fives in the entire sport.
And I certainly enjoy watching people play it today, Rich. It used to be unreachable, but the longer hitters now, we're starting to see them go for this par 5 regularly in 2. And the reason why, they start to hit the drive more down the right now than what they used to. People used to try and go down the left side. The right side, it hugs the water, but you get a better view of the second shot.
Okay, the second shot now at this par 5. Really good distance control there, playing well to his strengths. Getting set now over the putt. And he's made it for eagle. Let's get the back nine started here at the stadium course at TPC Sawgrass and break down the 10th for us, Frank.
Well, it's similar to the opening hole. The first and 10th give you the same feeling where you feel awkward off the tee shot. Difference to the first hole, you've got to poke your tee shot towards the right side of the fairway here, turning it into a dog leg. And similar thing, now you're going back across the fairway to the green.
Headed for the bunker? Not his best shot, and now he'll have to deal with a bunker.
Yeah, they say the hardest shot in golf, the next one.
Frank looks like maybe the greatest bunker player of all time right there.
Well, he's making a name for himself today. You could certainly put him up there with Gary Player, Severiano Ballesteros. That was just a great bunker shot.
Let's go to the 11th now. It's a par 5 and a fun hole, Frank. You can make anything from 3 to 7 here.
And that's why, as the start of the back nine, especially on a Sunday, this becomes such a pivotal hole to start a run. Big body of sand down the left side that sometimes the longer hitters can get close to with the tee shot, but really it's the second shot. If you can reach this par 5 and 2, it's a very narrow green. The layup, well, it's actually an awkward layup, Rich, because you've got to push that ball to the left side, almost like a zigzag approach.
This could be a huge momentum swing here, Frank.
Yeah, one more good swing, and he's going to have an eagle putt coming up. I know you don't want to get ahead of yourself, but it was well in the cards.
Big swing right there, and a great result, and now a chance for a big swing in momentum with an eagle coming up. This has a good ring to it, -14. Now to the par 4 12th, and it's a pretty short hole, Frank.
Yeah, Pete Dye often doesn't get enough credit for his short par 4s. This is a great example where one of the features of it is the blind second shot, just to give you a little bit of doubt on judging the distance. Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
Drivable par 4, not for most in this field, but for this guy, yes, he has just knocked it on. What a shot. Just slides by.
Yeah, can't afford to miss too many of those out here today.
So just a formality here. I mean, you just don't see this too often. How about 9 birdies on the card today? What a round. One of the great things about this golf course, Frank, a variety of par 3s, different yardages. Here at the 13th, 181-yard par 3.
Yeah, this is where you have to be careful on the tee there. Anything left's just going to be eaten up by that lake. Matter of fact, if you hit one with a little bit of a hook and it catches the mound, it can still kick into the lake. So this one here, just be a little cautious on the tee. Second shot.
Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie. And what a day it's been. All right, Frank, this one gets everybody's attention. The 14th, 481 yards, par 4.
It's not just the length of this hole. Water down the left, mounds to the right. This is it. You've got to buckle up here. Tee it up. This has to be your best swing.
That is massive off the tee.
Meters, yards, I don't care how you measure that. That's got to be what? 300 meters, 325 yards, something like that.
Sensational shot right there, Frank.
Oh, you start beating your chest after a shot like that. That's the best we've seen into this hole today.
In the hole for birdie. Now to the 15th, and Frank, I know this is a hole that you really like.
Yeah, it gets no respect in my book, which I think is a shame. Just a nice dogleg to the right. And really 2 good shots and a 3 here, which is actually a rarity. It sets you up for those closing 3 holes. Too often people just take 15 lightly. And 15 has just a gentle nibble that turns into a bite.
Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on there. Easy birdie. See if he can just make one more. Add to the list.
Not a problem from there. Right in the middle. You licking your chops here, Frank, as a player, when you get to this tee box?
Well, it's an opportunity. A 4 here certainly makes the mood better when you walk to 17 and then 18. So a 4 here is more than just making a birdie on a par 5.
Like the looks of this one.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he just blasted it down the fairway, well over 325 yards. Frank, the second at 16. This is a chance for a player to put his name right alongside the likes of Freddie Couples, guys who have done some amazing things here at this par 5.
But it's going to take something special, something that's going to carry that little bunker on the right. Remember, once again, there's 2 sides to this green. The left side, which is the high side, and the low side on the right. Comfortably knocks it in.
Frank, you think about heartache here at 17 through the years, what comes to mind?
Obviously, Sean O'Hare is the first memory. I remember Len Matisse messing the hole up. Sergio Garcia just a couple of years ago when he was trying to make 2. And you're punished so severely at 17 for a miss. But you're rewarded, too, for bravery. And it's that fine line between being a hero and a fool. And it comes down to 137 yards.
Oh, just a superb shot.
You're not going to see much better than that all day today.
Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Now to the 18th hole here at TPC Sawgrass, 462-yard par 4. Frank, and another example of visual intimidation from the designer, Pete Dye.
Those wooden bulkheads that go all the way down the left side of 18 give you like an optical illusion, Rich. And there's not a single fairway bunker on the right to give you something specifically to aim at. So you've got to fixate on one of those trees. This is not a hole where you want to be looking at anything other than a specific target.
Great way to finish off the final approach shot with a birdie opportunity. Go ahead and do that. Birdie. Frank, a lot to like in this performance today.
Oh, it is. There's so many positives to take out of this round. Not just the possibility to